Hello, welcome back to another Marky-mark video. It's been quite a while, isn't it? 2 or 3 months. I've not been very well. I can laugh, but I'm on the up, and things are steadily getting a lot better and brighter and all the rest of it. So I have a wonderful haul of records to show you, mostly jazz. The record that I really wanted to show you hasn't arrived yet, and that will be hopefully coming on Saturday, possibly Monday, possibly Sunday. It's no surprise, one of the most iconic jazz albums of all time, Bill Evans live at the Village Vanguard, or Sunday at the Village Vanguard. So I'm looking forward to that. I might just do a short video when I get it and give you my initial thoughts. For the reviews I've just seen today, 10 minutes ago, because it's out in America at the moment, outstanding. So I'm already very excited about that. But let's talk about some great stuff that I've picked up in the last couple of months. It's been really interesting. Went to a live gig, and let's kick off with the live gig. So my thanks to George, Scott Spinner One. Mentioned him a few times. He mentioned a jazz artist called Matthew Halsall, and it just so happened that the time I saw George's video, Matthew Halsall was playing here in Devon in the UK, and I couldn't believe it. And a friend of mine had bought me a ticket. So I bought several albums, which I can show you in quick succession. Really uplifting, gorgeous jazz. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's been going for a while. Him and his brother have got this record label called Gondwana. And the artwork, I'm not going to take it, hopefully you can see that, it's not too, I think this might have been his 3rd or 4th album called Colour Is Yes, Colour Yes. Really uplifting, really gorgeous record, and it's a special anniversary edition, remixed and remastered with previously unreleased material. It's just a lovely jazz, easygoing. He plays trumpet and he plays all sorts of stuff. And this is from 2019 from Gondwana. And at the live performance, he had all his records for sale. And being a sucker that I am, I had to buy just 2 others. This is Matthew Halsall and Bright Sparkling Light, which is gorgeous. Again, flawless record. I'm not sure where they're pressed, probably optimal, but this is absolutely gorgeous. This goes with his new album, which is this. It's delightful. This is An Ever-Changing View, and I met Matthew after the show and managed to get both of those, that one and this one, his new album, signed by him, and he was very particular where he signed it. He didn't want to sign it on the front cover. He carefully took out the record and signed the record out or the inner sleeve. So that's Matthew Halsall. I'm totally. Anything from him is excellent. George is absolutely right. I'm really completely stoked and incredibly lucky that I got to see him live. It was a fantastic experience, really tight band, beautiful harpist, percussion was just brilliant, and what I thought about Matthew was he was just very humble, very, very humble. Spent most of the gig sort of knelt down and let the others kind of have a bit more prominence in the performance, and then when it was his turn he sort of stood up and trumpeted. Trumpeting was beautiful. It's very Miles Davis, I thought. Some of some of his trumpet playing. So Matthew Halsall, thoroughly recommend. I think he's in Europe now at the moment. But as I say, I've delved a lot into the old jazz, the Blue Note stuff, and I play mostly on my radio show the Blue Note sort of old stuff. But really, I'm starting to play a lot more new stuff. This really is good. So Matthew Halsall, let's carry on. So as you do, being a record collector, kind of jazz fiend, I've been down a few rabbit holes and picked this up only because I haven't got any of his stuff. This is Ron Carter and Third Plane. So I'm not taking it out of its plastic. I've got hot, sweaty hands. But anyway, so when I heard this was another YouTuber saying this is one of the, go-to sort of jazz albums. I had a listen. I thought, yeah, that's coming home with me. Very cheap on Discogs, and it's got Herbie Hancock on piano. So I was already sold at that point, and then Tony Williams on drums, and it says on the back here, supervision by Orrin Keepnews. So Orrin Keepnews I think he was the producer for Riverside, for most of the sort of Riverside 11 stuff. So great record, mastered at Fantasy, and another reason why I've kind of had to get it as well, because Ron Carter's on double bass, but I'm thinking of, I am going to try and hire a double bass, and I'm going to have a little go. I had a little play a few weekends ago. A friend of mine brought one along to a weekend and said, "Oh, do you want to have a go?" And I really loved the sound of it. He had a bow as well, and it was just love at first sight. So I'm going to try and get hold of a double bass and learn how to play. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube, and I'll find a teacher eventually and get some lessons. So that is my plan for the new year, is to learn the double bass and see if I can. But this is a fantastic album. So that's Third Plane, Ron Carter, Herbie Hancock, Tony Williams. So another really amazing thing that happened about a month ago. A mutual neighbour, friend of mine, who I haven't known for that long, he introduced me to a good friend of his, and who is a big jazz aficionado, jazz lover. And so we set up an evening where we went to his house and listened to some great jazz, all sorts of stuff I've never listened to before, all the unusual suspects, which was a great joy to sort of be introduced to different artists. And I heard this and I had to get it again, and it came today actually, and it's absolutely spotless. Chico Freeman, Destiny's Dance. So we've got Wynton Marsalis, the wonderful Bobby Hutcherson, and if you like the vibes, xylophone vibes, Bobby Hutcherson is absolutely fantastic. And next year, I think it's on the Classic series. Is it Classic? They're bringing out Happenings, which is a fantastic album. I think it's middle of next year, so I'm going to get a copy of that, because I bought the 75th anniversary edition and it was dreadful. So Chico Freeman, Destiny's Dance. I hope you can see that. I don't have to deal with this again. Usually have to do this in several takes. There's no editing in any Marky-mark videos. It's all a little bit kind of amateurish, but I'm fine with that because I'm not after anything. I'm just sharing the love. So we've got Dennis Moorman as well, Cecil McBee, Ronnie Barrage and Paulino da Costa, and this is from 1981. And it sounds flipping brilliant. The great cover. Really great. Really recommend you getting hold of this. On Contemporary. I think it was about 15 quid. Worth every penny. Spotless. Really, really pleased. And it was described as VG+. And yeah, true to his word. It was filthy dirty, but gave it a good clean. It's spot on. So yeah, Chico Freeman. That was thanks to Martin, who recommended this, and a load of others. Such a great night. the friend that we met up with, he used to have his own radio DJ, and he's interviewed quite a lot of the jazz greats. He's got a family in New York, and he's a bit older than me, in his sort of early 70s, I think, late 60s, early 70s. But he's actually interviewed the likes of McCoy Tyner and Dexter Gordon, and so it was just a fantastic evening. We're going to meet up soon and listen to some more jazz. This dropped very recently. I have to mention this. Harold Land Quintet, The Peacemaker. Just literally came out, I think, about a week ago on Verve, the Verve by request, and by Third Man. Third Man Records, if you don't know, I think is owned by Jack. Is it Jack White from the White Stripes, or the pressing plants in Detroit? My last experience with Third Man Records was, I think, Mel Brand's Chicken Fat, which was pretty filthy dirty, but sounded fantastic. This was pretty dirty, but came in a really nice scratch-proof inner. So they've upped their game a bit, and happy to say this is spot on perfect. We've got Ryan Smith that's done the mastering, and again Bobby Hutcherson on the vibes, Harold Land on tenor sax, Joe Sample on piano, Donald Bailey on drums, Buster Williams on bass. Recorded 1967 and 1968. Really recommend you getting hold of this. It's great. Really recommend. Right, so a non-jazz record now, which has blown me away. And for those of you that have followed me for a couple of years, it gets to that point of the year where I start thinking about my favourite 10 record finds of the year. And it's really difficult to pick out just 10 because, you know, I have to really think about it. It changes, and I suspect that the Bill Evans Sunday at the Village Vanguard is probably going to be up there somewhere. Waltz for Debbie will be, I think. But this blew me away. I bought it on a whim. I wasn't feeling very good at the time, and I thought, oh look, there's a Pearl Jam album there. I've got a reissue of Pearl Jam 10, which is sort of shaped like a Mexican hat, really. It's a new reissue. It's not an old version of 10, Pearl Jam's 10. So I thought I'd treat myself to this complete unplugged version. And it's the acoustic broadcast and part of, I think it's an MTV, it's a gatefold, I'll get it out. It's part of the MTV recording. And I looked at it and I thought, oh God, it's coloured. It's a coloured vinyl. It's going to sound bloody awful. I'm not a fan of coloured vinyl, and various reasons for that. It sounds bloody awful. That's the inside. You can see that. I will try and tilt it. And it's on the Bauhaus label. And I don't know who mastered it, but it sounds absolutely amazing. We've got just absolutely stunning, really good, great record, and I'm toying with the idea of this being in the top 10 somewhere, and it's blown me away. There's some great little interplay between Eddie and the crowd, and he is quite politically active, and he's sort of talking about some of the things that are getting on his goat a little bit, and there's a bit of tuning up of that. I love that. It's like a live performance in the room. It's wonderful. Really recommend. If you like Pearl Jam, because I grew up with Pearl Jam back in the early 90s, this is unbelievable, and I cannot believe it was as cheap as it is. Sounds amazing. The separation, the soundstage, there's not a crack, pop or anything. It's flat. So I might stick it on later on, actually, because it's so great. Right, a couple of records here which have taken my fancy. I held back initially, but the quality of them, I bought this one first of all, It is Ryo Fukui, a letter from Slowboat 2016, half-speed mastered from We Release Jazz. I have reviewed, it's called Cat by Hiroshi Suzuki, which is bangingly brilliant, fantastic. So I had to buy this. Brilliant, beautiful, great sounding, perfect, as you'd expect from a sort of jazz label like this. Really, really lovely. And then I had to buy Scenery, which I think was his first album. And we've got some old classics like standards like Willow Weep for Me, Autumn Leaves, and this was from 1976. That one, Slowboat, a letter from Slowboat is 1926. Original release 2016. Really like it. Very easy going, late night, very accessible jazz. It's just lovely, lovely covers. Flat vinyl. It says official reissue of the highly sought after jazz masterpiece, sourced from the original reels and mastered at half speed. The whole mastered at half speed thing is a bit like the whole rubbish about 180 gram. I don't think it makes much difference to the sound. It's a bit of puff really. I don't notice any difference at all. But there we are. That's the world of audiophile records. You got to look through the kind of murky world of descriptions. So that's that. Very strangely, I'm going to throw this in because I bought this back in August. Yeah. I really wanted. I was getting into Black Sabbath, and really wanted a copy of this, which is Black Sabbath Paranoid, and it's got. I think. This is Rhino, but I think it's QRP. Pretty sure QRP pressed it, but I couldn't find anything on the sleeve to sort of confirm that. But it sounds fantastic. Nice gatefold cover. Yeah, a bit of Black Sabbath. I have to be honest. My go-to music is jazz. Everything else I sort of go into every now and again, but really, it's just I get the house to myself. It's pretty much jazz. But I have a confession to make on the Marky-mark vinyl nut. I've had to buy some CDs because they were so cheap, and I can't be bothered to wait for a reissue. But I've had to get Paul Chambers' Bass on Top, which was like £6. You can't get this for love nor money as a tone poet. It's sold out, and it will come back one day as another batch reissue. But again, because I'm thinking about taking up the double bass, I thought I'd give this a go. And I'm not spending 60, 70, 80 quid on Bass on Top. So the CD's fantastic. I can play it in the car and what have you. And also from another YouTuber, and I can't remember who it was, talking about top jazz albums, Kenny Burrell and John Coltrane from 1958. And again, this was like £3. It's a no-brainer. So I'm not turning on anybody on the vinyl, but you know, it's a cost of living crisis at the moment, and if I see a bargain, then I will buy it. This goes for the bridge, Sonny Rollins, fantastic. So I really recommend CDs as and when. But yeah, as you'd expect from a CD, they're very sort of flat, and you know, they are what they are, but they're so easy. You can just put it on and not worry about it, put it on repeat. And anyway, I'll stop waffling. So yeah, nice to be back. I'm really pleased to do another video. I hope to do a quick video soon of the Bill Evans when it arrives. And I hope you're all keeping well. Take care, give us a like, whatever, but you know, whatever. See you soon. Take care, look after yourselves. Bye.